So when you go to KwaZulu Natal, these are true tribes which merged into one. And Natal was named by Vasco da Gama. That's when the Zulu, they will tell you that the Zulu actually the nation existed in the 18th century. It's a lie. Even in 1500s, the Zulu was already there. So do not be fooled the way they are playing Zebulan Zulu. And you asked me what formed the Bantu people when you study the etymology of born again. It means again. It means heaven or sky. Zulu, the Bantu people. So they can actually maintain authority over our minds, over our land, and over our resources, creating these systems so that we can be submissive towards them because they've created a system. We have benefited nothing from using the same system that is busy abusing our own kind even today. It's been years. We've benefited nothing. Poverty is increasing, people are dying, people are really even killing each other each and every day because of the systems which are implemented so that the minority of people can rule over the majority of people. So when you talk about the chosen people inside the text, we are talking about the Bantu. When you read into the book of...
So we heard Mr. Matsemela once again with his controversial and thought-provoking views on the history of Africa. He challenges the current narrative concerning ancient civilization in Africa and asserts that the current history as we know has been perpetrated by the white capitalist agenda in order to wipe out and make us forget our true identity.
When they are chosen people, they are the chosen ones. They are chosen ones which live amongst us. These chosen ones, they live amongst us. They are the ones that are reincarnating.
And everything was going fine from the beginning.
It is happening. That they shall remember themselves. Like I said, the prophecy is taking place. Then Babylon.
And then but that does not matter now. Mr. Matsemela is back with his views on the history of Africa. Brother Matsemela.
Yes, Daddy.
Where were we?
The time of the movement of Abiyama, when he was in Egypt. You know, when you look into the book itself, it talks about he went southwards according to the book of Genesis chapter 13 verse 1. When Abiyama went southwards into Canaan's land. So that's when you also need to Google, you'll find out the Canaan. You find out it's in South Africa. That's why it's called Canaan Municipality, which is in Western Cape in South Africa. So that's the real Canaan's land. So Abiyama, when he was in Egypt, he went up out of Egypt. Egypt is down, so south it's upwards. That's when he went up out of Egypt into Canaan's land, into the promised land that he was given. So that's when you find out Abiyama, Iseka, and also Akobi. So Akobi, which is Jacob, they will tell you inside the Bible that Jacob is the second born. They will also tell you that Esau is the firstborn, that the blessings were taken from Esau to Jacob, which is a lie in the Bible. It's a lie. Europeans, you have to investigate what you call the Josephus, Flavius Josephus, who worked together with Vespasian in order to actually change the things. The traditions that are inside the Bible are mixed traditions from the Bantu scrolls, For example, if you don't mind if I give you this example, you find out people believe in sacrifices. You find out people even believe in a human sacrifice. That is Greek. When you look into the Old Testament, it's more of Greek. Like, tell me an evidence, give me an evidence. A woman can have a child without experiencing a man.
Well, scientifically, it's
not.
possible.
So when you look into the story, it's Greek. That's Greek. Because when you look into the story inside, it was a son of David. They were addressing him as son of what? Son of David. Which means they trace through his genealogy, through his lineage, which means Joseph slept with Mary. Joseph slept with Mary and broke Mary's virginity. Joseph is the one that made Mary pregnant. He slept with Mary and she was a virgin. So this is a sign at the same time into the text which shows women who are virgins are considered as high value women. Because Mudimu wouldn't choose a prostitute to give birth to his son. Why didn't he choose a prostitute to give birth to his son?
Well, you can see I'm tempted to say something because I remember there was a prostitute in the lineage of Jesus Christ. We have Rahab, the one who welcomed the spies in Jericho. Yeah, she was a prostitute.
But in the context of him being born, was he born out of a prostitute or was he born out of a virgin?
Well, the text says out of a virgin. I don't want to get into the discussion. Remember, but I said, it's your time. Like if you ask me questions, you are inviting me, and I don't know.
But we are discussing. It's okay to discuss. Okay. It's okay to differ from my perspective.
If you protect me against the viewers, because they are the ones who are going to crucify me.
Yeah, no, it's okay, my brother. It's okay for you to actually question me. It's okay for me to engage in things, even though we may differ in perspective. It doesn't mean we will all agree, or in other things, But it's okay. It's for me when you say no, you differ. When you come up with the new information, I'll be like, okay, I don't have something, but I'd rather go and make an investigation about this. You get what I'm saying? Okay. So there is no way that a woman can give birth can give birth to a child without having a man. It's impossible. It's a Greek methodology. If you study the Greek philosophy, you find out Zeus himself sleeping with women and they were able to, Hades was born. It's the same concept as fallen angels sleeping with women.
I'm going to ask you a question. In the last episode that didn't work because of power cut, you talked about angels sleeping with animals and producing what we now call white people. So are you saying Nini na Nini is exclusive? Because when you talk about the creator, I would have a perception that he created all of us. So my question is, where do the white people come from?
Powerful question. White people don't have our DNA. When you read into the book of Enoch, where the Watchers landed in Mount Homen. Mount Homen is in Cape Town. Okay. That's where the angels landed, in Mount Homen. They were sleeping with women and they were able to create giants. That's why you even find footprints of giants in Mpumalanga. I want to show you the picture of a footprint of a giant in Mpumalanga.
Okay.
I will show you that picture so that the people could actually view it. They were giants. And they did not sleep only with humans. They did not sleep only with women. They slept also with animals. The book of Enoch quotes that they slept also with animals. That's why they are called, white people are called Caucasians, Neanderthals.
Oh, so you're saying the white people are the children of angels who slept with
animals.
Women. Animals or women?
Animals. White people are genetically modified. White people, with this technology that you see currently, that white people have, it's a knowledge which they gain from these spirits that are giving them this knowledge. That's why they're able to rule over you, because you walked away from the commandments of Mudimu. When you walk away from the commandments and walk away from Mudimu will because we have a covenant. The covenant is forever It's not for a temporary moment. It's forever. When you walk away from me, this will happen to you. For I have made a covenant with your forefathers. You are my people. You are my descendants. You are my inheritance. The Bantu are his inheritance. Then the Egypt are his people. Assyria, which is in West Africa, are his working hand.
And then you're saying it's impossible for a woman to have a child without having met a man. How do you reconcile the two? Because now you have angels who are able to engage with animals, and then you have other beings being born out of that. But now you have a woman who gives birth by Holy Spirit.
No, let's add it together at the same concept. Let's go to the white people. The existence of white people didn't exist through Esau, because into the Bible it talks about Esau is a white boy, right? It quotes that Esau is a white boy, which is a lie at the same time. White people are genetically modified. The angels cannot create. What they can do is modify things. They genetically modify things. The same way, let me give you another example to understand. I don't know if the dog pig bull. Pig bull, what did not exist in ancient times. It only existed because it's a different mixture of DNA animals. So that's why the angels they do, they genetically modify things. That's why the Bible itself, it is genetically modified. So they coded these things. So what I'm doing now, I'm decoding what they have coded. So the existence of angels, when the angels came, they slept with women. Giants were created. They also slept with animals, Neanderthals. That's why white people are called Neanderthals. They were living, they're Caucasians. They were living in mountains, Caucasus Mountains. That's why they're called Caucasians. They don't have, even if there are black people who are melanin, there's what we call human beings. If you understand the concept of human beings being mammals, that we are considered as animals, but we are not animals. Unkulunkulu, you are gods, not human. Ubuntu, muntu. When you talk about umuntu nabantu, mutu ke mutu kabatu, it's not about being black or white nowadays, because it's about bloodline. It's about bloodline. The lineage of a bloodline. Those that have the DNA. Those that have the DNA of the Most High. It's not about spiritual Israelites or you are black. No, it's about bloodline. It's about the certain chosen people, bloodline. The Bantu people, bloodline. It's about bloodline. So that's why when you come to South Africa, they're actually putting us on a mixing boat. So that's why we are so very mixed in South Africa. Different lineage, different cultures, different people, but they're not Bantu people. But yet, understand, the Bantu people are in the bottom of the food chain because they are the ones who go from or their land has been taken from them. And we have, at the same time, we have this colored people. You know, please, I want you to give it the picture of a colored person and also give the picture of the Khoisan or the real Khoi, so that people could differentiate. And these people who are colored people are products of colonialism. You get what I'm saying? Colored people are results of rape cases which are still not solved even today. Colored people, without colonialism being here, they wouldn't have existed. Without white people being conquering here, colored people wouldn't have existed. So now they claim to be Khoi. They claim to be the oldest people who existed. They only existed Mobana.
Okay, let's stick to one language so that our viewers won't get lost.
So they were born just yesterday. Now they're telling us that the oldest people, and they say they are the descendants of the Khoi. Please, again, my brother, I would like you to put a colored person and put a real Khoi person here. so that they can understand these people are not related. Even their bloodline, they're not even related. They are more ancient or European than being an African. You get what I'm saying? They don't even have culture. They are confused. They don't know who they are. They are confused because their existence, their existence happened because of white people being in the land. So let's go back to Abiyama.
Yes.
Abiyama,
Yeah.
he went south into Canaan's land. That's why Canaan's land, Canaan, it's called Canaan. The cliques. Canaan, that's why it's called Canaan. So that's why we have Canaan municipality. According to also to the Human Research Science Council, in the Dictionary of South African Place Names, it gives you proof manner where Canaan's land is the real biblical Canaan's land.
Does it say it's the real biblical Canaan's land?
You must also put the picture. I'll give you the Dictionary of South African Place Names so that they can actually, see it.
Do you have any other reference apart from that dictionary?
When Abiyama went to, even in Wikipedia, in the Canaan's land municipality, I told you about the Canaan municipality. When Abiyama went, why didn't he go northeast? Why didn't the text say he went northeast? I guess he went to get feminine. Is it feminine or feminine? To Egypt and heading.
Yes, he was running away from famine.
So thank you. He was running away from the famine. He went to Egypt and came back into the Canaan's land. So, and when you look into, he didn't go south in Genesis chapter 13 verse 1. He didn't go northeast. He went southwards. He didn't go northeast. You can't take 40 years from Egypt to Israel. It is impossible. When they were enslaved into the land, even when you go into the hieroglyphics writings, into the Egypt, it doesn't talk about Israelites. It doesn't talk about Hebrew Israelites. There were no Hebrews that were enslaved there. It talks about the Bantu people. Shout out to Kiswahili for also studying the hieroglyphics writings. It talks about the Bantu. Batu, it's written Batu, it's meaning Bantu people. The Bantu people are the ones that built the pyramids in the land of Egypt when they were enslaved by their own cousins. When the Egyptians enslaved them, even into the tombs of Egypt, you found out black people were enslaved by black people. They were whipped. You found out an Egyptian holding a whip, beating a Bantu person. Blacks were enslaved by other blacks, and they did not cross the Red Sea. It is a lie in the Bible. When you study the etymology of the Red Sea, it means Nile River. They've crossed the Red Nile River because it was turned into blood. That's why the Nile River flows down into the Mediterranean Sea. But they went up into Canaan's land. Then when you read into the book of Numbers, it talks about they landed in Paran. Paran is in Niger. That's when even in the old maps, I'll give you the map so people could also make research of this map when you post it. They landed in Paran. Paran is in Niger, and they went southwards. That's when Moses sent spies, and they went southwards into Canaan's land, up southwards into Canaan's land. So when you say Israel is the land which is flowing with milk and honey, there are no resources. There are no biblical animals. There are no buffaloes. There are no lions in Israel. You cannot talk about the resources, compare the resources of Africa to Israel. The gold which is here, the diamonds which are here, the resources, the platinum, aluminium, all these resources are here. And yet Israel itself, which was discovered in 1948, created in 1948. In a time when apartheid in 1948, when people in the southern region was isolated and experiencing apartheid, the land were taken from them, their wealth was taken from them. We are living in a generational trauma where there's no justice even today. And people are still expecting justice to be given by the same very system. Which America invested, Europe invested in apartheid because there were scrolls which were discovered in South Africa. They called them the Dead Sea Scrolls.
When were these scrolls discovered?
In 1948.
So are you saying that we can discover the scrolls in 1948 and an effort can be put in place that can wipe away that history, because 1948 is merely yesterday.
It's merely yesterday.
Yeah. So are you saying these people were able to write off that history from our books and our knowledge altogether as the South Africans, such that nobody knows anymore that these scrolls were discovered?
Remember,
in
even
South
the
Africa?
Bible was actually brought even before the apartheid. Remember that the Bible was already with those are the we call the apocrypha books, or the apocrypha. There are books which are called the apocrypha books, which are not included inside the Bible. The book of Enoch, the book of Jubilee, the book of Jester, they're not included inside the Bible. But yet, when you read also inside the Bible, which claims to be inspired, how come it quotes the uninspired? Which is, if it's inspired, it quotes the book of Enoch. So those scrolls which are discovered in Qumha, they are called the Dead Sea Scrolls, and they were revealed once. I'll also send you again those Dead Sea Scrolls so that people could actually look into them.
Okay, I have a question. Do the people of Qumha know about these Dead Sea Scrolls? Because now I want to talk about the authenticity of what you are sharing. Do the people of Qumha know? Do we have any history in the people of Qumha that we can gather and map with your claims?
Remember when colonialism came here, it actually brought it. There's this called the Dark Ages. The real Dark Ages did not happen in Europe. It was happening here when people were actually removed from their traditions and being tortured in Cape Town. They were tortured and they were beaten. So Qumha, let me give you the etymology of Qumha so that you can understand the meaning of it. Qumha, it means lots of clay. I mean, the Qumha, which comes from the Khoi, it means lots of clay. Then Qumra, which comes, it's Khoi. The Qumha is Khoi. The Qumra, it comes from Xhosa. Because the Bantu people, when they came here and migrated here in the south, they were intermingling with the Khoi. That's how you find out Nelson Mandela was a mixture of Xhosa and Khoi. That's why even the Muletsani, which means Muletsani was a mixture of Bantu and Khoi. So, you wanted to say something?
No. I because I know that Muletsano was being taken care of by the Khoi, because his father had employed the Khoi to look after his animals. Yeah. So the Khoi, they gave him this something to tie around his waist as one of the attires of the Khoi. That thing was called Muletsa. Muletsa. Yes.
Then why?
So that's why he was later called Muletsani. I don't remember his real name. Yes. But then that's not where we are. Remember? Yeah, I was just
yeah. But what I was trying to talk about is that there are a mixture of people of Khoi and also the Bantu people. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why? Even if you say, but he was actually Magana wa Batau. You get what I'm saying? Which means he was ruling over the Bantus, and also he was also because even my grandmother came from Batau. Tebejani, Machila, they came from him. They came from him. We have also Bantu people who are descendants of Khoi, but yet have more DNA or more Bantu appearance than Khoi. You get what I'm saying? So they were intermingling. That's when they were intermingling. You get what I'm saying?
I'm interested in this DNA that you're talking about.
So that's
where does this DNA come from? Okay, please remember what you were going to say, but I have an interest in this DNA that you're talking about. You talked about Ungulungulu. You talked about the DNA. Who has the DNA and who doesn't have the DNA?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll come to that. Let's start by looking at this, that the real to understand the real Canaan's land, where it's the land which is promised by the Creator. Then when you look, it's the holiest land. It talks about it's more like Eden. It's Eden, you know. So Eden, when you locate it's Eden, you find out Eden is in South Africa.
I'm going to say nothing.
Eden is in South Africa. Let me tell you why Eden is in South Africa. Do you know Inzalo Nyelanga?
No.
Inzalo Nyelanga, which they call it Adam's calendar. Can even Google it, Adam's calendar, Inzalo Nyelanga. So you may post it so people could actually look into it. Inzalo Nyelanga, it's called the birthplace of the sun, which means it's the oldest calendar. Older than the Egyptian, it's the oldest calendar. So the first people to be in the land are in the south, were in the southern region. Then there's a question another question comes out. Then why would people or the colored people say that the Khoisan are the oldest people here in this land? Remember, the Khoi originate from the east side of Africa. They are related to the Hadza tribe. That's why the Hadza, they also speak in cliques. They have the same character. They have even the same DNA. They are related. They are related. So the Khoi, when they migrated from the east side of Africa and came into the south, that's when you look into the archaeological evidence. You found that they were drawing into the Karamahaha, into the caves. They were drawing into the caves. But yet, when you look into the stone structures of Inzalo Nyelanga, it's not related to the Khoi. It was there before even the Khoisan even migrated here in the south. So the question claims, who are the oldest people? Because even that calendar is actually connected to the Bantu calendar. So let's go back to that question that you asked about the DNA.
Yes.
So when you talk about uNkulunkulu, and also when you study the etymology of Yahushua, of Yah inside the Bible, like I said before, all these names that are in the Bible are representing pagans. Bo Jesus, Bo Yahushua, Bo Elohimu, they are all pagans. They are not. How is Jesus related towards you? That's number one. How is Yahushua related towards you? Because these names don't belong to Africa. They don't belong to Africa. They don't. So when you study the etymology of Yahushua in the Bible, you found out there is an N-I-N-I, which is genetically modified. Also, you may post the N-I-N-I and the real N-I-N-I so people could see, which is genetic, the one which is modified and the one which is not modified. Because the Hebrew Israelites modified Nini into the Hebraic writings or into the Hebrew writings. So it's so they were written in Bantu. They were written in Negro. You get what I'm saying? They were speaking Negro, not Hebrew. That's why there are even Bantu languages in the English Bible. There are languages, your languages in the English Bible, they are there in the Bible because they don't have permission to change everything. Why? In the book of Daniel, it quotes that the beast changed times and laws. As it is prophesied. They are giving you the Bible as it is prophesied. They changed it. They are giving you the things which are already changed as the times. The Gregorian calendar, which we're following, which was introduced in 15th centuries. The changing of the time so that people could worship on Sunday. So people could worship these deities. They had to modify it so they can benefit. Then you and I cannot benefit from it. So they can tell, in other words, they are plagiarizing and rewriting history so that they can, that's why they envy the wealth of the Bantu. That's why white people are here settling here in Southern Africa, because they want your wealth, the beauty and the nature, the resources of this land. That's why they're putting us on a mixing boat. So let's talk about the DNA. When you talk about uNkulunkulu, you're talking about umkhulu wako. You're talking about your ancestors. You know, though you came from your ancestors, and the one who is the progenitor of your ancestors, the one whom your ancestors worshipped, they worshipped something which is related towards them, not something which is different from them. So when you talk about Sonini Nanini, it means I am that I am.
I have a question. You are saying uNkulunkulu refers to the ancestors.
Because uNkulunkulu gave birth to uNkulunkulu.
Okay. So are you saying, do we have that great unkulunkulu? I do not know how to. Yeah, unkulunkulu. Do we have that great?
We have
one who, because now I have an interest on this issue because we talked about the Khoi, right? And then we now have Bantu people, right? And by Bantu, we mean a whole lot of tribes that form the Bantu people. In fact, before we go any further, can you, elaborate more on the Bantu people? Yeah, which tribes form the Bantu people?
Then when you look into, let's say, you found out the descendants of Akobi. Remember, Abiyama was chosen. And he and also remember the creator deals with firstborns. Abiyama, Iseka, and Akobi. So descendants of Akobi, which are the 12 tribes which I mentioned, Benjamin, Judah, Benyamini, which are the Xhosa people, Abatembu, Abapondo, those are the Benyamini, the Xhosa people. So the Xhosa people are not descendants of Nguni. When after Joshua died, when they were already into the land, remember, Benjamin settled into the Tsitsa River. I'll even give you the verse of in the book of Samuel. They modified Tsitsa. Remember, what they do is add or remove as it was prophesied. They modify things so that people cannot connect the dots. That's why we are decoding things and connecting the dots. We are decoding what they have decoded. So his descendants, Judah, that's where Basotho, Batswana, Bapedi, Balozi, Yauza, Basotho, Batswana, Bapedi, Balozi were there. The Xhosa people were there. Naphtali, Zebulun, Zulu. That's why they changed Naphtali into Natal. And when you look into the old maps, it's Natalio, which is Latin. Naphtali was changed into Natal, Natali to Natal. So when you go to KwaZulu Natal, these are true tribes which merged into one. And Natal was named by Vasco da Gama. That's when the Zulu, they will tell you that the Zulu actually the nation existed in the 18th century. It's a lie. Even in 1500s, the Zulu was already there. So do not be fooled the way they are playing. Zebulun, Zulu. And you asked me what formed the Bantu people when you study the etymology of born again. It means again. It means heaven or sky. Zulu. The Bantu people came from the sky.
I have a question because now you talked about Umkulunkulu, right?
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. But I'm getting there. What I mean by Zulu, you're talking about the people who came from the sky. So when you talk about the genealogy, the Bantu people came from the sky. They came from the sky. The Bantu people came from the sky. Like I said, it's not about being black or being white. We have the Kushites. We have the Ethiopians. We have the Kushites. We are the sons of Kush. They're also black. But the Bantu people came from the sky. They are the ones that were enslaved into the land of Egypt. They are the ones that built the pyramids. Even when the Kushites, the Sudans, Kushite is Kush, Sudan, Ethiopia, the tribes of the Oromo, they were actually enslaving the Bantu people. The pyramids of Sudan are the pyramids of Babylon, which are in desolation. For Babylon shall be in desolation. So they got destroyed by Esau. Remember when the whole world attacked Babylon? Esau is Congo, Zaire, Edom, the younger brother of Jacob. But they will tell you, like I said, they will tell you that Jacob is the second born. But it's a lie in the Bible. Esau is the second born. Jacob is the firstborn. Even in the book of Exodus, when Moses was sent, Musa, his name is Musa or Mohau. So when he was actually sent to the Bantu people, to the Bantu people, So he to Pharaoh. So to Pharaoh, he told Pharaoh. He told Pharaoh. The Creator told Moses to let go. Tell Pharaoh to let go of Jacob, of Akobi. Then they changed his name into Israel, and they will say Israel, who is my firstborn. I get inside the Bible, they said Jacob was changed into Israel, right? And it was changed in, which is a lie. There's no way that the Creator can change Akobi into Israel. Israel, it's a modified language, a combination of three deities: Isis, Ra, and El.
You will go back to that one. Okay. I want us to go back to Umkulumkulu and the DNA, right? Because remember I talked about the Khoi, the Bantu people, and I want us to also include the Egyptians and the rest, and the white people. Yeah. Is Umkulumkulu exclusive to only Bantu people? How do other people relate to Sonini Nanini?
Okay.
Yes. Does Sonini Nanini consider other people? Are the Bantu people the messengers of Sonini Nanini to bring peace to the world? Or are they soldiers who are here to take over the world and bring back what was stolen by the white people? What is happening? Is Sonini Nanini bringing to the world the glad tidings, like the message of peace, of unity? What does Sonini Nanini say about the war in Middle East? What does he say about Ukraine and Russia? We will go back to the issue that we were talking about of Israel, which comprises of three deities. But I want us to dwell on this one for now.
Let's start about this one. What you were asked about: is the Bantu people owned? Is Sonini Nanini only for the Bantu people? Let's start there. Remember, if you understood what I've said, that the Bantu people came from the sky, that the word Zulu means sky, right? So the Bantu people came from the sky. The Bantu people are the one that should bring heaven on earth. And when you talk of heaven on earth, heaven on earth. So salvation is coming here on earth. Not we are going to heaven. What has been done on earth, what has been done in heaven shall be done on earth.
You are quoting Jesus.
My point is heaven is coming on earth.
Okay.
I'm not quoting Jesus. The concept of Jesus is a mixture of Greek philosophy which is mixed with the Bantu scrolls. Of course, they have to create an ideology of Jesus out of the Bantu scrolls. Of course, they have to create Jesus. Jesus it's a pagan, son of Dogon. I'm not related towards Jesus. My DNA, my ancestry. Why would I worship a colonial propaganda and forget about my history and about my genealogy?
We are still going to go back to
I'm going to the point of this internal salvation. Like heaven is coming on earth. Of course, those who took the land, the land shall be taken away from them. The same way as Nebuchadnezzar or Babylon was destroyed. It's the same way that Babylon, this one, will be destroyed. We cannot wear golden gloves when it comes to white people, as if white people are holier than us or they are better than us because we have the same concept that they are the chosen people, they are the Jewish people. No, they took the resources, they took the land, they massacred the people, so they will also be enslaved. They enslaved our forefathers and people. And when you accept Jesus as your personal savior, our forefathers were forced to accept him. They were beaten and brutally killed. They were tortured to accept him. They were tortured. It was not introduced peacefully. It was actually introduced violently. So we are dealing with people who understand the human psychology and how to manipulate a human's mind. Therefore, if they need to introduce violence for them to control your consciousness or for them to have to control your mind, they will use it violently so that they can be superior and you be inferior. So when you talk about salvation, salvation is coming on earth, so you shall rule over the earth. Because when you look into the system, this is not a system that brings salvation. It brings destruction and brings a lot of death towards the people. So when the Creator told them, our culture, which we lost, is or will bring the salvation, How did white people don't know how to practice Lobola? They don't know, but yet Akobi paid Lobola for his wives. Since when did the culture inside the Bible, when you read into the context, it's not related to the white people. Since white people, when they marry, practice Lobola, because in the old times, our mothers, our grandmothers were told not to actually have sex before marriage, before even the Bible existed. Then you have to tell me that.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
It's like you presuppose that the Bible talks about the white people, right? But what if someone were to argue that the Bible actually talks about the blacks? You talked about Akobi, Abiyama, and
Iseka,
right? Yeah. What if someone were to argue that these people are actually black and the Bible actually talks about the black people? So, meaning your argument of saying white people don't know how to practice Lobola, and perhaps you would also throw in the one of circumcision or other rituals that we know that the Bible talks of, which are somehow related to what is practiced in Africa. Yes, because I feel like you are arguing against someone who were to take the Bible and say Jesus is white and say the white people are the chosen people, right? But I wanted us to, in fact, I wanted you to argue against the text itself or for the text itself, not necessarily against the perception of some people who might misunderstand the text. You see that? Yeah, in order to straighten some of the issues that we may have in terms of what the text actually says. And of course, I know that you have those arguments where you put forth the issues such as the Bible has been, brought in deception and so on and so forth. But I wanted you to,
let's go to this concept so that you can understand me. I don't know if you're familiar with the Hebrew Israelites. That they say that Jesus is black. You know that it's common to people that they say Jesus is black. Then when you look into the Bible itself, for me to also to understand your question. Sometimes I cannot just talk to understand without understanding. In your own perspective, the way I present my case, are you saying the way I view it as if the Bible it's about black people or it's about white people? Are you saying that I'm viewing the Bible as about white people?
No. I think the way I hear you, it's like you're saying the white people wrote the Bible to convince the blacks that God is white.
Yes. Okay. And I need to understand you clearly. So sometimes I can answer things without understanding you clearly,
Yes.
So
therefore, now that God is white, black people should leave their culture and economy and so on and so forth and practice that which is given them by the Bible because it is the one that prescribes salvation, the way of salvation, if you get the point.
Let me go to the first question. You will make your follow-up. Okay. So the Bible, when white people came here, the Bible existed out of the Bantu scrolls. Let me say that. Without the Bantu scrolls, the Ethiopian Orthodox Bible, Ethiopian Orthodox, which is even older than the Bible, European Bibles, it also came from the Bantu scrolls. And remember, Ethiopia conquered the world, which is Kush, Edom, which is Babylon. Because even in the old maps, you found out Ethiopia. So they also plagiarized from the scrolls of the Bantu people. The Bible wouldn't exist without the Bantu scrolls. Let's start there. So you can understand if they would bring those scrolls just like that without hiding it or burning the evidence of it,
Hmm.
would you still question the concept of Jesus, the concept of a white man, white supremacy system, the government system, and you will concept if these people, if they would bring the Bantu scrolls just like that, do you think there won't be a lot of contradictions? Even if inside the Bible there are still a lot of contradictions. So my point, what I'm trying to say is, of course they will modify it, implement their own belief systems, implement their own agenda, so they can benefit out of it. Because the Bantu people were conquered because they were breaking the commandments of the Creator. As when you read into the book of Deuteronomy, in the book of Deuteronomy, of the disobedience and obedience, it talks about for you being tails and the foreigners coming in, aliens or foreigners coming into your land, dividing the land and conquering the land, and you shall be scattered into the four corners of the earth. But in the book of Isaiah, they shall be butt naked, you shall be naked. The people of Namibia, they were enslaved. The Africans were enslaved by the what do you call the Arabs, the Persians, which are the Arabs. The Persians, they were enslaved in West Africa by the Persians, because Arabic slave, we cannot talk about Christianity, transatlantic slave trade without neglecting, and we are neglecting the Arabic slave trade. The Arabic slave played a huge role in Africa when enslaving the African people. So when you look into these things, tell me, how did white people, like I said, there are Bantu languages in the English Bible, because they modified it. Therefore, they will bring in deception, but they don't have permission to change everything. You noted that point, I guess.
Yes, I noted it.
And you noted the point that I told you, that there are even Bantu languages in the English Bible. You noted that point also?
Yes. Okay. On that point, what do you say of what Maponga says, that this Israel that you are saying comprises of three deities is actually part of Africa? Because because taking from what he's saying, it would reconcile what you're saying, that this English Bible includes the Bantu language. So he says Africa extends all the way and encompasses that part that we call Middle East. He says that is part of Africa. And he proceeds that there's no Jesus, because the letter J came in the 500 years ago, 1500s. His real name is Yeshua or Yahushua. And he says he was black, right? In our history, here as Southern Africans, or the Bantu people, we have a history that we come from the north, right? That is, it would seem to support your claim that the Bantu people were enslaved in Egypt. And we have some of the things that we brought down here with us, things like Morabaraba, this game that we play here and we claim to be the Basutu game. It comes from Egypt. It came down with the Bafokeng people. And Tetana, that is being claimed to be the Basutu version's dress. It's also part of the regalia, the attire that was in Egypt. You see that? Could it not be that Yeshua was speaking Bantu? According to, like, now we are talking Maponga now, right? Yes.
I respect Maponga, you know.
Yes, but now, yes, before you go there, Maponga throws, Israel into Africa. You see that? And you are saying Israel is not Africa. The promised land is not Israel, because it's an invention. Actually, the promised land is Southern Africa, which talks to the Bantu people. But the claim that is put forth by Joshua Maponga is that the
Israel is part of
Israel is part of Africa. Yeshua was black, and our history here points out that we come from Egypt, which means that Yeshua, when he was in Egypt, he was speaking Bantu.
We need to clarify things. I respect Maponga, I respect Maponga. I even had some conversations with him. Remember, number one, we are still in an awakening stage. There's some other things that I will agree with Maponga, a lot of things. There's some things which I would disagree with him. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yes. The Middle East concept of saying Israel is part of Africa, that's when I would differ with him saying that Israel is part of Africa. Israel is not part of Africa, number one. But yes, there were black people there. Probably even the Egyptians were actually going to that places. Remember, white people, they did not exist. Their existence is estimated to be like around 3,000 years ago, if I'm correct. Around 3,000 years ago, their existence. So the question is, the world, how old is the world? How old is the world? So the world is it's estimated to be 6,000 years old. And when you say millions of millions, the world is around millions of years old, millions of years, then you're still following the Gregorian calendar. Let me give you why, the other reasons why. If you're saying, like you quoted, that the J word appeared 500 years ago, then we need to question the concept of AC and BC, which is before Christ and when? After Christ. Are you following? So then the concept of time itself, it is wrong, because it is still part of the Gregorian calendar. If etymologically Jesus existed 500 years ago, then how can time be constructed as BC and DC?
No, the issue of Jesus is he was referring to Jesus as with the letter J, saying these people changed his name
into
from
Yahushua. I'm going there
to Jesus.
I'm
but the letter J came 500 years ago, referring to someone who was here 2,000 years ago.
I'm going to the concept of Jesus, which I'm taking currently.
I see.
And after coming there, I'm going to the concept of Yahushua. Okay. Like I said, this concept of saying the world was millions of years old, it is wrong. You get what I'm saying? Because even the J word appeared 500 years ago, right? But I'm asking you, the concept, the time frame of BC and DC, what does it mean? Before Christ and after Christ. Am I wrong or am I right?
Yes, it's before Christ
and after Christ.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but now,
let me answer your question.
Okay.
So as before Christ and after Christ, which means the time frame itself, it's part of the Gregorian calendar. Because when you follow that type of concept of AC and BC, you're following the concept of saying there were dinosaurs here. You're following the concept of saying there were dinosaurs which exist, because they will say you millions of years BC ago, dinosaurs existed. You're following which is the concept of 70 AD, of the destruction of Jerusalem happened 2,000 years ago. Around, is it 70 AD, around 2,000 years? Around that time frame. My point is, it's justifying the colonialists of giving us this deception, and its time itself, it is the Gregorian calendar. It is not part of the Bantu calendar. Then I'm coming to the concept of Yahushua. When you study the etymology of Baal is Lord. Lord. is Baal. Yah is Lord. Yahushua is Lord. So when you are calling on these names of Jesus, Yahushua, Yah, Elohim, and Lord, you're calling on pagans. You're not calling on the true name.
So is Sonini Nanini not Lord?
Sonini Nanini is not Lord. When did God, the word God, exist in Africa before colonialism? And when you say in the Greeks, did the Greeks use monotheism or polytheism? That is another question. When you talk about the Hebrew, saying Yah, there's such thing. There is when you talk about the Hebrew, there is when did Yah or Yahushua exist in Africa? That is another thing. But in our own languages.
Okay, now you're asking me a question.
Yeah, I'm asking you a
Therefore,
question.
I have to answer.
Yes, my brother.
Yeah, please do not crucify me. I'm just responding to the question. Okay, Yeshua came late in Africa.
In which language is that?
This Yeshua is Hebrew.
Hebrew.
Yes.
When did they? Since when? Who are the Hebrews then in Africa?
Okay, according to what we know,
or according to your research,
the Hebrews. Yes, according to my research, the Hebrews are the children of Israel, who were occupying the land of Israel, which we call Israel today. Yes.
So my other question will follow up then. When did the people, you're not answering, I hear you are saying Israel. I asked you, in Africa, who actually called God, used the word God, and spoke Hebrew in Africa? And to say that the Hebrew Israelites, remember Israel was discovered in 1948. Prior than 1948, Israel did not exist.
How do you answer the issue of history books that talk about Israel? Because not all history books were written after 1948, right? We have history books that refer to Israel. We have this one, for example. We have History of Redemption here that talks about the destruction of
Israel, which happened
Jerusalem
in 70 AD.
Yes.
You're still going to the same.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. And it speaks of Israel, which is in
Middle East.
And guess when it was written? It was written in the 19th century, before 1948. There are many books that have been written before 1948 that speak of Israel, which is next to Egypt.
Then you have to answer the question of why did the Josephus try to create Israel in Uganda? And it doesn't mean if the land did not exist prior than 1948. The word existed, but the construction and studying the etymology of the word, the origin, how did Israel was this formed, the word. Let me remove the concept of land. I'm removing we'll come to the land later. The word itself, Israel.
Yeah.
When you study the etymology of it, it gives you 3 deities within it. It's Isis, Ra, and El. Israel. It's a combination. Even if you can go and study the etymology and post it, so you can see El. It comes from the Canaanites. Isis, Ra, Egyptian deities. So it is from out of these deities. And when you talk about El, you know that you're talking about the snakes, cow, snakes. Isis, the Greek, the Egyptian philosophy. It is constructed out of those deities, and it was from Israel. Then I'm going to have to ask you. Then you are saying that in Middle East. I want you to remove the concept of Middle East in Israel.
You are helping me. You have to help me remove it. Okay, I'm not just going to to just cast away everything that I have learned.
No, right? I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying hear this information.
Yes.
Then go and make your own research.
Definitely.
The conclusion is yours. I'm just providing you information.
Yeah.
As your your viewers have right to challenge my statements, I also have right to challenge their statements.
Definitely.
So when you say Israel there in Middle East the word Israel. Yes, the word Israel existed prior than 1948, but yet does not mean the truth. People who wrote about Israel and saying Israel is the land which is flowing with milk and honey, they should give an
We had maps. We had maps, Brother Matsemela.
Yes.
Maps that refer to Israel
True,
as
they're there.
being in Middle East. These maps were before 1948. I referred to this book.
Then this book which you are telling me and
that
other
talks
books
about the exodus of the Israelites from Egypt
to Israel,
who crossed the Red Sea and went to the side of Saudi Arabia.
So can you
and
take
then they left there. That's why we have Wadi Musa, right?
What?
Which is Sidibasa Moshe. Wadi Musa, which is in Saudi Arabia. You see that? And from there, it talks about, this is not me, it's history. It talks about the sojourn of the Israelites in the desert, right, in the wilderness of Sin, around Mount Sinai and Horeb. And then they left there, and then they crossed the river Jordan into Israel, which we know today as being the land of Israel, or the Israeli government.
I have a
territory
question.
there. You
I
see
have a
that?
question.
Now, before you ask the question, this history predates the 1948 claim that you are talking about.
Okay.
You see that?
Then you have to answer the question that they went up in the book of Genesis chapter 13 verse 1. Then when you read into Abiyama went out of Egypt. And when you talk about the Red Sea, from Egypt to Israel, you can't take 40 years. That's not, how did they move from Egypt to Israel and took 40 years? That is a question that I have. The second question, why are
No, remember, this is not a debate, right? Yes. Okay, viewers, remember, I'm just answering questions, and also I just want him to clarify some of the points here. Now, you talked about them wanting to come to Uganda.
They tried to create Israel in Uganda. They tried to create Israel in Kenya. They even tried to create Israel in Australia. They even had several options. That's why they took Palestine and created Israel in Palestine.
Yeah, but now, what do you say of the books that were written?
They are lies.
Before 1948. How can they be lies? Because now...
Let me show you how can they be lies.
Okay,
Number one.
Okay, let's say they succeeded. To create Israel in Uganda. But the books would still be there that say Israel is in Middle East.
Even if it's Middle East, it's a fake location. It's a fake location.
No, we are talking about the old books that predate 1948.
Then I'm telling you, these old books which comes from the Europeans and other people are false. Because it's contradictory. It's a contradiction. They are lies.
Okay.
Where are the animals? But let me ask you the question, Daddy. Then if you're saying Israel in Middle East, the way you are quoting them, then they should provide, where are the biblical animals? What happened to the lions there?
We don't have lions in Lesotho.
Even if we don't have that, there are lions in the southern part of Africa.
Okay.
It's just
before we go there, I want us to, because I want you to clarify the issue of Israel being created in 1948. Yet we have history books that predate 1948 that talk of Israel at the same location that Israel is. You see that? Yeah. But immediately after you are done with that, we can now go.
Then if you're saying Israel is the chosen land, a land which is flowing, we are talking about the land which is flowing with milk and honey.
I'm not saying that.
But they are quoting them, so you have to back them up.
No. I'm quoting them because you have to say something, to clarify or to refute.
But you're defending them by saying that these people say this, that Israel, even prior than 1948, existed. So I'm challenging that statement that you have quoted from their books.
No. Let me clarify the point.
Okay.
You are saying Israel was created in 1948.
Yes.
But I'm saying, how do you answer to the books that have, that predate 1948, that were written long before
1948,
and the maps that locate this Israel that you say was created in 1948? They locate it right there where it is, where it actually is currently as we are speaking. Okay. You see that?
No, thank you very much.
I'm not making them up. I'm saying here is the book that was written before 1948.
Number one, you need to go. You're saying people were enslaved into the land of Egypt. Then where is
No. the question that I have now, we have books that talk of Israel that were written before 1948, that have maps that refer to the same location
as
Israel that we are talking of today.
Okay, I'm answering your question.
Yes.
This is how I'm answering your question. That number one, then I'm going to question the concept of that saying even if they're saying like Israel was there before even 1940, was written about it before even in 1948. Yes, they've written about it before in 1948, but study the etymology of the word Israel, because you have to provide with an evidence to back it up that if you're saying Israelites were enslaved into the land of Egypt, how come there are no evidence of Israelites being enslaved into the land of Egypt? There are no writings of Israelites. That is my first statement. The second statement that I have, then you're saying Israel there, they're written about Israel. Then if Jerusalem, which is in Middle East, but yet when you read into the book, Jerusalem is in desolation. So how many the Jerusalem which is coming on earth and the Jerusalem which is there in Middle East, how many Jerusalems are going to have? That is the second question that I have. The third question that I have, then how come people who are claiming that Rebecca is the mother of thousands of millions? I get a quote of Rebecca is the mother of thousands of millions. That's 1 billion people. How are they capable of feeding in Israel? How 1 billion people are capable of feeding Israel? That is the third question that I have. Fourth question that I have, the biblical animals, the lions, even though you're saying there are no lions here, but still, Lesotho is the part of the land which is flowing with milk and honey. The buffaloes, where are the buffalo? Where are the zebras in Israel? When you're talking about the priest wearing gold, wearing stones, the resources as gold, where are the gold in Israel? Where are the resources in Israel? But where are the biblical animals? How many billion people? America has 40 million people. How are capable of feeding in Israel? How 45 million people, how are they capable of feeding in Israel? A small land like that. And you're saying these people can be there. Those people whom you are quoting are telling you lies. Tell them they should come here and justify the statements.
Yeah, but now I have a question. Okay. Yeah, like I'm just asking a question here.
It's okay. Ask. You can ask.
Yes, you are saying Israel was created in 1948.
Yes.
Right? I am quoting you books.
Then
right?
I'm quoting you
that talk about the existence of Israel before 1948. How do you answer that?
I told you before. I'll keep on saying it again.
Okay.
Study the etymology. What is the meaning of etymology?
Okay. Before we go to the etymology, because now etymology is all about the origin of the word.
Exactly.
Right? The root. Where does this word come from? Right? The origin of the word. But the question is, the writings or these books that I'm talking about, are they true about the existence of Israel before 1948?
They are lies. It lacks a lot of tangible evidence, because even in Egypt, it doesn't talk about the Hebrew Israelites being enslaved there. It talks about the Bantu people.
But do we have any books that refute that claim? Because now we have the books of history. Like, for example, I've talked about the books of history that talk about the existence of Israel before 1948. You are saying they are lies.
Yes.
Do we have any books that refute such claims?
Number one, we need to study the books which study the terminologies of Egypt. I get that they were enslaved in Egypt. So when you were enslaved in Egypt, we need to study an evidence. Who are these people that were enslaved? We study the DNA. We study the terminology, the writings of the stories that are being told. I get the Egyptians had their ways of writing stories, I get.
Yeah.
Then we study them. We study them. And when we study them, you found out there's no existence of Israelites being enslaved. Then when you come even to the historians who are also quoting the Bible, then they have to provide you with an evidence that how can you travel from Egypt to Israel and take 40 years? They have to provide with that, because you can take 12 days, even 11 days. Even if you're fresher, even 9 days you can take it and go from Egypt to Israel. The distance of Egypt to Israel. And you're saying
which Israel are you talking about?
I'm talking about Israel that
the Middle East. The Israel that existed before 1948.
Even if it existed,
Right.
the word Israel existed. Of
No,
course.
I'm talking about the place, not the word.
Where is the place? Okay, let me understand you then, Daddy.
Yes.
When you are saying the place of Israel, when you are saying the place, they quoted the saying the Israel existed before even 1948. They were quoting it. Then where is the location of that Israel? Which you are quoting from their
in the
books?
Middle East,
Then
the same location where we
I'm still in
find
the same
Israel
point
today.
to you
Yes.
that the Israel which was discovered in 1948 in Dati, which was discovered in 1948, that which they have been quoting for you, it's a fake location in Middle East. I gave you so many questions that they should provide you with an evidence that even into Egypt, there is no say of Israelites or Hebrew Israelites enslaved there. Then you have to answer the question. They have to give you. There are a lot of writers, a lot of authors that can write about Israelites being enslaved into the land of Egypt, but like tangible. I read so many books about, like 2 books of it, but I wasn't interested because they lack a lot of evidence. I had so many questions unto them that while you say Israelites were enslaved, then that small land of Rebecca saying she's a mother of thousands of millions, that's 1 billion people.
What was it referring to? Rebecca saying that.
Rebecca.
Yeah.
What I'm saying that I get that.
What did that mean?
That of what?
That Rebecca is the mother of thousands
of millions. Inside the Bible quotes that Rebecca is the mother.
What does it mean?
It means
does it mean the people who were enslaved in Egypt were billion?
The people
or
who were
does it
enslaved
mean
in Egypt, the people
her
that's
children,
what, remember into the text that the Pharaoh did not know. Hannah, who was the son that were sold by his brothers into Egypt? Joseph. Remember, even his name is not Joseph. I get the etymology of Joseph, meaning he who adds. And Bantu is Meketi. That's his name. So Meketi, he's the one that was sold by his brothers into the land of Egypt. Then that time after he died, the Pharaoh did not even know him or recognize him. Then he saw this, they wrote Israelites, that there were many here. There were many here. Then he decided to enslave them. These are the Bantu people. The Bantu people, these are the Bantu. I told you, even in the hieroglyphics writings, into the tombs, it talks about blacks being enslaved by other blacks, right? And it quotes that it's Bantu, it's Bantu. I will give you even the sign you posted of the Egyptians' writings saying this is the Bantu people. The Bantu people are the ones that were enslaved into the land of Egypt, not the Hebrew Israelites. There's no such thing as black Hebrew. I even call the Hebrews are Germans. They are Germans. Those are the Germans. Those are the Germans. There's no black person. In fact, there's no African who can speak. They were speaking Hebrew. I mean, they were speaking Bantu. The Hebrew language. Do you know how the Hebrew language existed? The Hebrew language, it's a modified language. A combination of 4 languages, the same way as the Afrikaner language. It's a combination of Greek, Aramaic, Latin. It existed out of those languages. And when you talk about Aramaic, you're talking about Aram. They changed Aram into Aramic and modified it as Aramaic. Aram, which is in West Africa. Then when you look into the book of Jubilee, which is, it quotes that Shem was in Central Africa and went to West Africa. Because the descendants of Shem, we see like his Selah in Libya. Selah was black. And after Selah, you found out is Iba. Iba is Ibaranga. They speak Negro in Niger, Ibaranga. They did not speak Hebrew. Then you found out his descendants went to Abiyama, Isaka, and Akobi. You find out Esau is in Central, in Congo, Zaire, Edom. That's where Congo is. That's where Esau was dwelling, around Congo and Angola. That's where they were dwelling. Then Akobi's children are the ones that were enslaved into the land of Egypt. Because when they did not cross the Red, you are saying they crossed the Red Sea. They did not cross the Red
No,
Sea.
I'm not saying so.
Then I'm telling these people,
History says so.
I'm correcting the Bible.
So you talked about Israel comprising of 3 deities, and I stopped you there because I was interested in the other topic. I don't know if you still want to say more on that.
Okay. Let me clarify this first, and I'll go to the Israel concept. That the people that were enslaved into the land of Egypt. Remember, Rebecca gave. There were 2 wombs into the Rebecca's wombs. Two nations in Rebecca's wombs, which is Jacobi, Jacob, and also which is Esau. Take note in that I am quoting it again, that inside the Bible, it's a lie to say that Esau is the firstborn. Because even when you look into the book of Exodus, it talks about Jacob when Moses was sent by the Most High to tell Pharaoh to let go of Jacobi, my firstborn. But they just changed his name into Israel. They saying Israel, my firstborn. They just changed it. I get that when the Most High change your name, he does not have regret of what he changed. I get he does not have regret. He doesn't regret and say, yeah, you're no longer. And when you're saying you are Thabo, you will always be Thabo until you die. Then when you look into the Bible, they say the Romans wrote, or the Josephus wrote, that his name is no longer Jacob, he's now Israel. But yet when you look into the next chapter of it, the Most High keeps on calling him Jacob, Jacob, Jacob. They are the ones that are adding and removing, and they are plagiarizing. Then because Israel itself, it's a combination of 3 deities, Isis, Ra, and El. Israel. So Israel, it's fake. They are hiding biblical locations. We need to find the locations. When you find the locations, then you are able to find the people. When you find the geographical locations, you are able to find, because everyone is a Hebrew Israelite. I say they will say everyone is a Hebrew, not literally everyone, but they will say in the majority of people in Africa, the Hebrew Israelites. How can these people who were enslaved, they were tortured and beaten and scattered into the 4 corners of the earth, how they are capable of feeding in Middle East in Israel? And if you're saying Jerusalem, it quotes that Jerusalem is in desolation, is no more. But yet Jerusalem exists in Israel there, and quotes that the new Jerusalem is coming on earth. Then when it comes on earth, how many Jerusalems will have? That is another question. Because when we read into the book of Luke, it quotes that it's no more. It is in desolation. Jerusalem is actually in South Africa. Before it was called South Africa, it's in the southern region of Africa. The Great Walls of Zimbabwe. You can even Google Great Walls of Zimbabwe. Solomon's Walls in Zimbabwe.
Do we have any archaeological evidence
of Solomon in Zimbabwe?
No, not only for the temple, not only for Jerusalem, but for all these claims that we were making about the etymology of names, the architecture, the existence of Solomon's whatever,
They are there.
That can. Do you have them?
They're like the walls. You can Google. You just use your phone.
No. I don't talk about Googling. I'm talking about archaeological evidence.
The walls and
that has been written down that we can refer to. Right.
The walls. I'm just saying. When you Google, I'm answering.
Google was made by white people. I'm talking about.
Hear me. I'm answering your question.
That we can refer to as black people.
The walls are still there in Zimbabwe.
Have you been to Zimbabwe?
I haven't been.
You haven't been. So I want us to find something that we can rely upon right here, okay? Let's say a particular, one of our brothers or sisters went there and documented something.
Yeah.
That we can read, okay? Yeah, the evidence that we say someone went there with a chauffeur
but people
and
are
was able to dig down and come up with something.
Follow me, that I'm answering your question.
Yeah.
Please understand to hear me. What I'm trying to say is that it doesn't mean if I wasn't...
Come closer to me.
It doesn't mean if I wasn't in Zimbabwe. It doesn't mean that if I wasn't in Zimbabwe, it doesn't mean that Solomon's walls are removed there. There are no archaeological evidence.
No. I'm saying you are here. You are saying the walls are there.
Yes.
Right? We want that evidence.
But my brother, what's the point of having Google? What's the point of having Google Map?
Google was made by white people.
Even if it was made by white people.
So now I'm saying, you are now saying, these people are lying to us. How can we trust what they have made? I want you to bring either a book or an article that has been written by someone that we can trust.
Okay, let me give you.
Get the point.
Let me follow your concept.
Before we go there, do you get where I am?
I'm actually there. I understand you correctly.
I want you to say someone was digging, was digging in a particular river and came across a particular stone that says this, and it has been recorded. It is in so and so library, and at least I can be able to call that librarian, ask the librarians there about the existence of such evidence. You see that? Something that we can say, it is not a whistle authority of saying someone has found the Dead Sea Scrolls, for example, but we are not able to locate the evidence. I have a question. I hear that whenever you are talking, you are still referring to the Bible. Now, you are saying the Bible has been plagiarized and edited to fit the mandate of the whites. Now, my question is, how would you advise someone who is reading the Bible like you are quoting it? How can we be able to find what is truth and what is not in the Bible? Or is there any other book that we can read that does not contain the white propaganda?
Powerful. Let me answer you in this question. The artifacts in the southern region was taken. That in Iraq, Iran, the Persians came and took the artifacts.
Yes.
And took the evidence, to hide the evidence. If the artifacts were in America, you will think that America will be a new Africa. Or in Middle East, all these artifacts. Middle East is the new Africa. So the Bible, for you to actually understand it, you just have to understand it. You have to decode. You have to study the etymology of words. You have to connect with the biblical locations and study other resources, and such as the hieroglyphics, these people told that they were enslaved into the land of Egypt. So when you go to the land of Egypt, for example, you find out there's no archaeological evidence that shows that these people were the Israelites. Then you find out they are Bantu people. Because when you decode, because I always give you etymology of things, right? When you decode these things, you are decoding, I'm decoding, connecting the dots, because this thing does not resonate with white people. It's modified. We're given the thing which is already modified. So with the truth which is already in there, it was already in there. I'm able to detect these things by actually, finding the locations, finding the meaning of things by actually studying the strong concordance. If you actually go to the Strongs and study the Strongs, they were choosing words in different words and choosing this word and implementing these words. That's how I was able to connect the dots by learning from Zulu and Bantu on Black V Education TV. I was also able to discover my own things by myself. You get what I'm saying? I learned from Black V Education TV, Musawam Dali. I learned from those people. Then I was able also to connect some other information by myself and discover more. And other people who are going to view will also discover more. This is a revelation. Revelation will come. The truth will come. That's how I was able, and that is why I'm also coding it, because I'm able to find the truth and able to find deception. There is more to be discovered also in that.
So are you saying, okay, my question is, isn't Strong's white?
The Strong's, it's a dictionary of the Bible.
Yes, but the Strong's is a human being. So I was saying, is he not white? I have an interest in that question, because if he's white and then you are using his material to decode.
I'm using etymology of words. You study the etymology. Yeah. I get the etymology of words. You are studying the rootness of the meaning.
Yes. So I'm saying, if Strong's is white, could it be that he's also aligning himself with the white propaganda?
The Strong's concordance.
Yes, the concordant. Yeah, concordance. Yes.
Yes, you might say it is written by white people. Yes, it is written by white people. Yes, it is written by white people. That's how they were able, from different organizations and from different people, were able to detect what were they choosing, which words were choosing it. Because when you look into it, it's a transliteration, right? Translated from Greek. Have Greek translations, have Hebrew translations, and we have other translations. So if we have different translations, aren't you not able to decode these translations by studying the etymology of things, of these words?
Okay.
Because if things is genetically coded, right, then you are able to decode it. You are decoding what is coded.
Okay.
I get English is not our original language.
Yes.
So if English is not our original language, because it's a combination of even English is also a combination of different languages, right? So we were able to study the etymology of words, and when you study this etymology of words, we are able to Greek and Hebrew, this means this, but the meaning, you found options of different meanings. Or these people, when they were writing the Bible, they were choosing this word and this word and this word from this word from this word. So that's why we're able to say that, the Red Sea, instead of saying the Red Sea, they're talking about the Nile River. The Nile River, which flows in Egypt. You get what I'm saying? So also when you study the etymology of born again, Zulu again means heaven. The Bantu people came from the sky. What I'm saying is that do not believe in the concept that the Holy Spirit was a virgin gave birth to a woman and a child can be born out of the Holy Spirit. It's a white propaganda. Remember, the Bible was coded, so therefore it is brought in deception. Remove this concept of colonial propaganda. Take the truth, because we're still in an awakening stage, that heaven is coming on earth, that the Bantu people shall bring heaven on earth. Not you should pray and forget about the responsibilities that you should display here on earth and want to run away from heaven. And you want to go to heaven and forget about your purpose, that you as a Bantu person, what should you do here on earth? uNkulunkulu. You are here to rule, not here to become slaves. You are here to become hits, not here to become tails. So you should go and study these things and also follow other people who are actually saying the same concept. Go and study these things and go and make your own conclusions. So that's my statement. If you want more resources, go to the Black V Education TV. There's a Bantu calendar. You can even go to the Bantu calendar and also study for yourself. I'm not saying you should believe me, but go and study for yourself. The conclusion is yours to make, not mine.
That's all that we heard from Brother Matsemela today. And if you liked the discussion that we had, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. Till I see you next time, Shalom.